Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's video, I'm going to give my best predictions of who I think will win MCC 11. Before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support, and if you do like this video, it would mean a lot if you liked and subscribed. It helps me out a lot and shows that you actually like my content. But like I said, this is a prediction video, so if you disagree with anything I say, just comment in the comment section below and tell me what you think. But besides that, let's start off with number 10 on my list. Alright, so this season, they actually made it harder to guess who is going to win and lose. Scott made all the teams super close in points just to make my life harder. So thank you, Scott, for that. He said in this tweet that all the teams are super close in points and that only a couple thousand divide each of the teams together. So guessing who is going to win will have to go based off of teamwork and overall performance in each season. So putting everything into consideration, number 10 on my list is the Green Goblins. The reason I put Green Goblins so low on the list, even though they have Pete, probably one of the best players, if not the best player in the whole entire MCC tournament, is because Connor and James are so new. Connor never even playing a season before, and James only playing in one season. I think it's going to be hard for both Pete and Burren to carry. I feel like even if they don't get 10th, I feel like the best they can do is probably like an 8th place. But for this list, I'm going to put them in 10th because I think it's the safest best for last place. Because all the teams have such good people on them. Every single team has at least one S tier player on it. So just having two people that have never played before is putting this team really far down just for the fact that they've really never played and can't handle the games. Now don't get me wrong, Pete's been on sleeper teams before and has been able to like win with teams that no one thought was going to win. But those people that he won with sleeper teams actually have played the seasons before. But this season he's teaming with two people that have basically never played before. And Burren's like a A-B tier. So having that much weight he has to carry by himself is way too much to have for himself. A lot of people think that when they go into MCC that they can be immediately the first place person, but think about it. Dream, his first season, he did okay. He didn't do the best. That's because he's never played the games before. So having two people that aren't like crazy at the game in the first place playing for their first and second time, they're not going to do that well because they haven't played all the new games and they haven't even got to practice them because there's nowhere to practice. So leaving at that, I think that they're going to get 10th place. In 9th place, we have the Aqua abominations. Now, like I said, these teams are all really close in score, so it's hard to put teams higher and lower than others. But the reason I put this in 9th place is because of the fact that this team is usually the people that don't really try to ever win or have like this like super competitive type of style that they have when they're playing. So I think that they're going to do okay, but I don't think that they're going to try as hard as the other teams are going to win the actual event. So I give them 9th place because I think they will be able to do better than the green team, but I don't think they're going to be able to push it higher than all the other teams that are actually, you know, trying to win the actual event. I feel like they might actually try a little, and they obviously want to have fun and play, so obviously they're going to try a little, but I don't think that their competitive style is as high as all the other teams. So I think they're going to have fun while playing, but I don't think they're going to try super hard, and I think that's going to be the deficit for this team. Like Scott said in his tweet, all these teams are beyond 2k away from each other, if not a little less. So putting teams higher and below each other is based off of how well I think they will do in the actual event. And I just don't think this team will do as well because I feel like it's going to be kind of a joking team and they're not going to really try that bad. So with that, I give this team 9th place. In 8th place is the Orange Oozes. Now, similarly like the other two teams, this team isn't going to be the most competitive team in the whole entire world, and it has a couple new people like Minimuka and Finster. But I think this team will do better because I feel like Critzy and CPK are a better duo than Pete and Burren. Now, obviously, I think Pete's better than the two of them. Besides that, I feel like Finster and Minimuka will do better because I feel like Finster's at least played in a newer season where James has only played in a season really far away. So like he hasn't seen all the new games where Finn has. And I feel like Minimuka will just try because it seems like his team's going to at least, you know, try to be a little competitive. Now, obviously, this team isn't the best in the whole entire world because they do have two new-ish players. But I feel like they'll do okay and get 8th place, maybe 7th, 6th. Just because they're going to try a little harder and they have new people that have actually seen the new games. So I feel like they'll do okay, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere to the top 5. So with that, I give this place a solid 8th place. Now in 7th place, we have the Violet Vampires. Kind of like the other teams, I feel like this team's just going to meme around and not really try that hard to win. But the fact is, I put them at 7th place just for the fact that if they do try, I feel like they'll do halfway decent because they do have Fundy and Tommy. Now, obviously, when Wilbur and Tommy were teaming with other meme people like Pokimane, they didn't do the best, but they didn't get last then either. So I think that if they fool around and mess around like they did when they were playing with Poki, I still think they'll do okay, but I don't think they're going to do amazing, just for the fact that I feel like this is going to be a big troll team, but I don't think it's going to be a super bad troll team. I just think they're going to try, but I think they're going to mess around and fool around, so they're not going to do amazing, but I don't think they're going to do terrible. Like I said about the other teams, I just think that the other teams are going to try way harder than this team will do. So they're going to obviously want to play the games, win, but I don't think they're going to make it out of their way to play this super sweaty or super try-hardy. And if they lose a game, it's not like they're going to try harder in the next one. They're just going to make jokes and forget about it. I don't see this team as a really try-hard team, and I don't see them doing very much besides that. So with all of that, I'm giving this team 7th place just for the fact that I feel like they're just going to meme around. Now in 6th place, we have the Mustard Mummies. I gave this team 6th place because Quig, Pearlescent Moon, and Smallish Bean have proven themselves to be able to win as a team and that sort of standpoint, but I think Dan's just going to pull them down a lot because he is very new to the season, and I don't think that Quig and Smallish, because those are the top 2 on the team, I don't think they're going to be able to pull out a win just because Dan's so new. And Pearlescent Moon, I feel like isn't going to be able to do as well as she can sometimes. I feel like this season's going to be really, really try-hardy, and the top 4 teams are going to do really well. So I feel like this team's just going to get really pushed to the side just because of the fact that they have a new player. And then I don't think Quig and Smallish Beans are going to be able to push the team far enough ahead. Now, I gave this team 6th place because they could totally surprise me and get 4th, 3rd, 5th. But I don't think it's going to be that easy to do because of the teams above this team. But I think this is a good place to put them, and if they get 4th or 5th, I'm happy with that too, because I put them in the middle range, because I think Quig could pull out some stuff and do some clutch moves in like SG or like Sky Battle, but if they don't get those games, I don't see this team getting anywhere near 1st or 2nd if they don't get any good games that Quig or Smallish Beans can carry in. So with all that, I give this team a solid 6th place. Now moving forward into the top 5, it's going to be very weird because it's going to be very hard to put a team higher than another one. So this is basically just me kind of just putting things in spaces because I think that they're going to do better in the event just based off of what I think the event's going to go. So obviously these teams are probably going to be scattered around the actual event, but this is my best guess at where the top 5 are going to be placed because of the fact that I think this is just my prediction of how I think it's going to go. And honestly, how I want it to go, because I feel like underrated teams get so underlooked, and I think that the team I put in 1st place will be such an underdog story that no one expected, but I think it's going to happen 100%. Now in 5th place, we got Lime Leeches. Now the Lime Leeches are actually a very good team with only one person missing from their original team that actually won the event, and they replaced it with Green. The reason though I put them so low on the list and not 2nd or 1st, because the switch between H-Bomb and Green is such a heavy hitter for this team that I don't think that they're going to be able to win again with this almost exact same team, because I think Fruit and H-Bomb carried the team and got most of the points for their team. So having H-Bomb not on the team anymore and switching him out for Green, a lesser like known good player, he's not terrible, don't get me wrong, and that's why I put them in 5th, because like I said, I feel like the top 5 are going to mismatch. They might get 3rd for all I know. But I don't think this team's going to get the top 2 just for the fact that I think that the 3 of them are going to rely on Fruit, and I don't think Fruit's good enough or coordinated enough to win every other game. So I don't think this team's going to get top 2 just for the fact that I think they're going to rely on Fruit too much, and Fruit's not able to carry a team of 4 unless it was like Sky Battle where he can just solo it up and clutch it. But that's not enough points to win if he's alone. You have to have a full team of 4 alive in Sky Battle to get a lot of points. So all in all, this team will do well, but I don't see them getting top 2 just for the fact that I feel like this is an average team and they're not getting this really big boost like other teams are. So my final stance on this team is I think they will get 5th place. Alright, before anyone starts chopping off my head for putting Dream so low on the list, just listen to me before you start yelling at me or freaking out. In number 4, we have the Fusion Frankensteins. Now, like I said, I get it. People want Dream to win. People want Dream to win with Carl. But listen to me, and I'll try to give you the most reasons I can. Like I said, these top 5 can go anywhere, so don't get super mad at me if you think that Dream's gonna get 1st or 2nd. He totally could, but I just think for this season, he's only gonna get 4th, and this is why. Dream and Sapnap, very good. Don't get me wrong at all, but George is not the best player at all, and I think anyone can attest to that. He is halfway decent. He isn't terrible at all, but he isn't anywhere near the top 10. He'll get a good placement, but I don't see him being able to pull it off this season. The only way I see this team getting top 2 is if somehow George is able to pop off in a couple of games that they play and is able to get like a crazy amount of points over all the other teams that I put above him. Now, the reason that I put this team so low is because I think Carl isn't going to be able to learn enough. And they are basically the only team that has a new player that's super high because of the 3 of them. Don't get me wrong, this 3 team is super stacked. But putting Carl into this season and it being his first season, he's going to have a really hard time at the hard games like Hole in the Wall, Rocket, Spleef. So if they put those games in and they play those games, Carl's going to be one of the first people out because he's never got to practice them and he's never going to be able to like learn how to play them. So the only way to like learn those games is playing them, but he's not going to be able to learn how to play them if he's never played them before. I see the only way this team would get first or second is if somehow they made it so they don't play any of those games and it's all games that he can just learn how to play. So if they play bingo, survival games, sky battle, any games that don't involve like technical skill, like Rocket Spleef or Hole in the Wall, as long as they don't get those 2 games, if they get both of those games late game, I don't see this team getting first or second. But if they do get a lot of good games that helps them out, I see this team doing very well and getting maybe first or second. But for the way I think the season's going to go, I don't see this team getting past 4th place. Now, if you disagree with this, totally put in the comments. Disagree with me. I have no problem with anyone thinking this team's going to get first or second. But I just think that some of the teams above this team are getting slept on so hard that I don't think that they're going to do as well as they will. So as this prediction is going to go, I am going to put this team in 4th place. Please, if you get mad at me, just put in the comments. Put a dislike if you really hate this decision. I don't care if you don't like the decision, put a dislike. But if you disagree, just write in the comments. I know I've said that like 4 times. I'm repeating myself. All right, this is 4th. Let's go to 3rd. Now, funny enough, I didn't even think about this till I started saying it. In 3rd place, we got the Red Ravens with Captain Sparkles, which is just kind of funny because he always gets 3rd place, and I kind of feel bad putting him here. But I honestly think they're going to get 3rd place, and this is why. This team is very underrated just because of the fact it has Nihachu and people like Philza and Tubbo. They're all people, and even Captain Sparkle, they're all people that get underrated because they're such middle class people. They all do average. They're not crazy S tiers. This is actually the only team without an S tier. They're all crazily average, but that's good for a game like MCC. You don't have to have a crazy good person on your team to be able to win a season because all you need is a good amount of points on each person and you're going to get boosted so much higher than everyone else. It pains me to say this, but think about Bad and Skeppy in week 5 of MCM. I was 1st place and they got like 3rd and 4th, but my teammate got 34th. So having a good person that's really good and way above everyone else and having someone that's really bad just makes your team go down in placements because their person doesn't know what they're doing. So having a team of 4 people that are averagely good, Nihachu being kind of new, but at least knowing the games now, is super good because they're going to have all this coordination and have a really good team. Now, I see this team maybe getting you in 2nd place, but I think this team's going to get 3rd just because I think the other 2 teams are really good, and I think that they're going to do really well in the season just because I feel like the coordination on the next 2 teams are so good, and I don't see them losing any games by a lot, where I see all the other teams below this team and even this team, maybe I feel like they could do bad at specific games. So I don't see that this team could do better than those 2 teams. But if they get a good set of games, I feel like this team could do really well. But I just have to go off the average amount of games. And I keep on talking about games, and there's a lot behind games that people don't know about. So if you want to see that video, like and subscribe, put on notifications, because I have a whole theory of why people don't understand why they lose MCC, and I know totally why people lose MCC, and that's why I put Dream so low, because there's something to do with the games that no one understands that people just need to realize, and then they'll start winning MCC. So with all that, I know I kind of went on a tangent. I'm putting the Red Ravens at 3rd place. All right, and 2nd place is the Science Centipedes. I feel like most people saw this coming because of Techno and Tapple on the same team, but this is the only reason I put them there. The reason is because of Technoblade and Tapple being such high S tier players, or A plus, one or the other if you want to say one's A plus and one's S tier. The reason that this team is going to do so well is because none of these people are averagely bad. Like, no one on this team usually gets lower than 30th place unless they like do really bad one season. But a one season thing doesn't show off how well they do in other seasons. I think this team is stacked to the fact that the people are super good, and if they get good games, even if they get a bad game that they're not good at, I still think this team's going to be able to carry in the other games that they get. So if one game out of the 8 games that they get are bad and they do like a 5th place and they get put down a like level or 2, I don't see them losing. But as long as they don't get like 2 or 3 games that are bad for them, I see this team getting a good solid 2nd place. Now, like I said, I think the Red Ravens could take this from them. I think 2nd and 3rd are going to be really close, but I think 1st place is locked just because I think that team's super underrated, but I think it's really good for the fact that like this team, I think all the players on that team are super good and above average, but this team is just a little lower or around average. I know Technoblade's really good, and I know Tapple is really good, but they have only so many games that they are really good at. So if they don't get every single game that they're really good at, they're not going to do as well as people think. If you think about it, everyone thought when Techno and Calvin were going to play together, everyone thought that they were going to win. But then they played the season, they didn't win. And everyone was like, well, what happened? And everyone just thought they choked. But it's just because they didn't get the games that they wanted. So I think that if this team gets the games that they want and a couple that they don't, I think they're going to get 2nd place, but I don't see them being 1st place. Like I said, you can disagree with me, put them in the comments. I honestly want to hear what people have to say. So if you have a whole entire different tier list that you want to tell me, or if you want to just tell me that I'm completely correct and that you agree with me, go ahead. I have no problem with it. I just want to hear what other people have to say. And if you have a good opinion, I might change my mind. Well, hopefully not, because I'm making a whole video about it. But if you do, comment in the comment section below. But for right now, I'm putting this team on 2nd place. Now in 1st place, I think is the most underrated team, and it's the Blue Black Cats, which I think is a stupid name, but we're going to go besides that point. This team is the most underrated team because of the fact that the F-Whip, Shovel, and Scott are such underrated players, but they actually do very well, if not very average. And then they have H-Bomb, which is probably one of the best players, if not 2nd place behind Pete. But the reason I think this team is going to get 1st is because like the 2nd place team, Techno's team, I think this team is very average. But the problem with this team is that I don't think they have a game that they all do terrible at. I don't think this team is going to do terrible at any game. And just because they're going to do so average at every single game and get top 3 in every single game, I don't see them losing. Because if they pop off in one game and get a good 1st place, they're not going to go down. They're going to keep on going up, up, up. And every single time they do better than the team below them, they're just going to get a little bit higher and a little bit higher. It's like the same season with Quig and Scott. They didn't get anywhere near like crazy amount of points, but they kept their placement because they're just an average team and everyone underlooked them because they're such underlooked people, but they're so good because they've been playing for so long. These people have been playing every single season, so they might not be like a Techno or a Dream, but they're all so good at the game that they don't have to be the best players. They can just get a good 20th, 10th, 5th, 4th. It doesn't matter. They have the placements that they need that they can just win. Like I said, in any event, if you have 1st place and last place, that's averaged out to 20. Like that, you don't get a good placement out of that. You need people that are averagely together. You can't have someone that's really good and then someone that's really bad. You're not gonna win with those 2 people. So having this team of really good average people, above average people, and then H-Bomb, you're going to have a team that's going to do really well, that's not going to need this amount of like, what game are we going to get? Oh, is it going to be this game? Oh, is it going to be that game? They don't have to worry about that because any game that they play, they're going to do super average and or above average. And if they do above average, they're going to blow out the whole entire competition. Now with all of that, I know I kind of just went on a tangent, but it makes me mad when people underrate teams just because it doesn't have Dream or Techno or Hoo-Ha on the team. And this team is such a good team, but everyone underrates them so hard. So I think they deserve to be able to have the limelight and have a prediction where they actually get a 1st place. So if anyone on this team actually sees this video, you're welcome. I think you're going to win. And if you win, I'm calling it right now and I'm going to scream when you win because that's so amazing. And everyone underrates you guys. And it's just so stupid. Everyone should literally see it. You guys, like all these people I think have won. I don't know off the top of my head. But all these people have won, but no one thinks they're going to win because Dream Team is on a team and they just think that that's going to beat them. But I think Scott knows that he's going to win. And I think H-Bomb knows he's going to win. But everyone thinks that they're going to lose because it's not like this like crazy popular team. Anyways, I think this team's going to get 1st place. So for my prediction, we're going to end it off with the Blue Black Cats. You know, it's sad that I think this team's going to win because I really don't like the name. But so my prediction, I have blue going against cyan in dodgeball, and now I'm going to give my prediction on who I think is going to win the dodgeball match. Now in dodgeball, I think this is going to go down to the 5th game, and it's just because I think these teams are very close in skill range between the two of them in dodgeball, and I think the only way that cyan wins is if they take out H-Bomb every single round, like Techno did a couple seasons ago when he took out Pete and Quig the first round every single time. But for this prediction, I think that the team that's going to win is blue, just for the fact that if Techno misses his shots or doesn't get his shots, or Tapo misses his shots and doesn't get them, and they keep H-Bomb alive, H-Bomb is probably the most underrated dodgeball player in the whole entire game, just because he is so good at it, but no one realizes it, and when he gets into it, he does such a good job, but no one like realizes it because he gets shot right away. I keep on going in tangents, and I kind of hate it because I feel like it's just kind of me mumbling about how I don't think that the blue team is as bad as people make it seem. But I honestly think that if you think about it, these people every single season do very, very well, and everyone always underrates them because of the fact that they're just not like Technoblade or Dream or Snapnap or Carl or Tapel or Pizza Hut or Quig. Like, that team is full of people that are very good, and they need to be more like recognized. So for the final prediction for this video, I think that blue is gonna win 3-2 to cyan in the final dodgeball match. Now that's going to end off the video. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me, and it shows how you actually like my content, like I said before. But if you do disagree with what I picked for my top 10 and who I think is going to win, please comment in the comment section below. It does mean a lot to me to see your guys' comment and see how you guys think about what I said. But if you disagree, don't feel bad. Like, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'll probably comment back and be like, this is why I think differently. But I like to hear your reasoning and why you think this person is going to win or this person is going to win. So if you really think something, please comment in the section below. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.